Someone said, "Why am I going to pay $500 for a picture of a hobo?"
I always thought Kyle Beckerman was a good player.
Fire sticking their foot in it.
They said they were going to cut my food rations.
Cork soaking.
There is no possible way to articulate the malaise, the lack of ambition, the way it's felt for so long to be a fan better than he did. Welcome to the Enemies of the Fire podcast. This week we talk all sorts of craziness with MLS playoffs. We talk about deserving the Ballon d'Or, and also, like I said, I think we should say something nice about the Chicago Fire this week.
I guess.
So, as you can tell, we are sans Jaymes, but that is DPG. I am FC Neo Tokyo, and we are going to do all sorts of fun stuff this week. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be a monster 2-hour episode again?
I don't know about that, but all I know is that our boy Jaymes decided to take the night off. You know, let's see. It's been kind of a whirlwind with the playoffs. It's just, to me at least, it's kind of getting a little bit. It's. I gotta get used to it. You know, it's just this whole penalty shootout, then play another game, then play another game. It's just. I've said it before, and this is a weird format for me. I'm sorry.
It is weird.
You know.
I have come to just like accept the things that I cannot change when it comes to MLS. Yeah. But like, I will just say it again. Like, actually, I was watching one of the games, and my fiance was talking to me about it, and she was kind of asking questions, and it eventually got to the fact where I was like, you know, for about 2 years we had hit Nirvana. We had a balanced schedule. Every team played every team twice, home and away, and there was a single elimination playoffs. And we had reached pinnacle of MLS, and unfortunately Apple said, nah, dog, let's get some more games. But with the games that have happened, we haven't talked anything playoffs. I think one or two of the games happened when we were recording last week. But let's start with the East, because I know more about the East. I don't know about you.
Yeah. No, I'm good with the East.
So Atlanta, the one thing that happened before, like last week's episode, Atlanta won 5-4 on penalties. I mean, that was kind of an ugly game if I remember correctly. But their next game was not ugly. The Miami-Atlanta game was a fun one. Did you see that game?
I was watching that game. It was mostly all star-studded.
I mean,
full stadium.
It
was like Miami's game to win.
It was, but they weren't. You know, they had the lead for a hot minute, and then Atlanta tied right. You know, got it right back, and that's when the talent that you have eventually like shines through. Oh my God, I wore this for a bit. I feel like I'm screaming. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so I mean, what's funny is like, I feel like you're usually the guy who's like, if it's not the Fire, forget it. I don't care. And I'm kind of more like MLS sicko. But it sounds like you did watch a few of these.
Yeah. So I mean, I needed my soccer fix because I'm kind of getting into I'm getting my football fix. I needed my soccer fix. So, unfortunately, the Fire are such a great team that didn't make it to the playoffs. So, I have to settle on watching other teams that I really don't like play. So, you guys know how I feel about Messi. You guys know how I feel about Miami and all that.
Were you rooting for their downfall?
I'm still rooting for their downfall. I really want this. I want this team to fall flat on their face, and then
Why
all the alarm
is that?
bells
Just
go
because
off.
you're sick of hearing about it, or do you actually think it's bad for the league?
Sick. I'm sick of hearing about Messi and company, and I get it. Like, if you're one of those fans that all they cares about the game and the fact that you might have been a Barcelona fanboy or Messi fanboy growing up, so this probably gets you excited. To me, it doesn't do anything. It's just another guy collecting a check to make goals, and I get it. There's a whole bunch of hype surrounding him. He's a World Cup winner.
But hasn't the hype proven true? They set the record for points, and Messi played half the amount of the season because of injury, and still his stats were amongst the best of the league.
I'm kind of curious, how are they getting away with this, like, with this whole salary situation? Because you got 4 or 5 players that, and any other given team, they will probably be DP caliber players.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, let's be 1,000%. All right. Look at the mirror. Does Sergio Busquets be out there getting hookers and blow and wasting all of his money? No. Sergio Busquets put his money in a money fund, money market.
Market fund, and
he's looking at his 401k. He's caring about his dividend check. So he will take a lesser deal to go somewhere for a cool project, i.e. Miami winning everything.
Yeah, no, I get it. When most of the time when soccer players retire or football players retire, they tend to go to one of those senior leagues to kind of get their soccer fix because they miss the game so much. And then in Busquets' case,
but usually that's a payday. But when Messi is calling, it's more like Messi, a pay cut.
If Messi wants so-and-so, he's going to get so-and-so. We have seen that already happen.
Ooh, there's rumors of Neymar.
Yeah, so it's I get it. You want to put butts on the seats and all that, and whatever. The only other league that I could think of that probably won't do something like this are probably like the Premier League. They they don't need the star-studded attraction. They could just do fine without it.
Well, I mean, eventually, that's the whole point. If all the stars are in one place, that's where things shift. Look, at one point, La Liga had Ronaldo and Messi and was considered the best league in the world. And we just talked 2 weeks ago. It's ranked 4th, behind Bundesliga and Italy, which is wild. But anyway, I guess that's enough beating the Miami dead horse. It's just funny how, I gotta say, I would, if the Fire were in this bracket, I would hope Messi's leg was amputated. I would want the worst, right? But the fact
that
it's
a college kid to break his legs on a sliding
exactly. Let's get that kid on $19,000 a year to go in and crunch Messi.
To the 2022 15th pick overall.
The 15th pick in the Super Draft. Anyway, but I like seeing the history of it. So anyway, to stop glazing.
I get the hype. I get the hype. I get it. But I learned a long time ago that it's much better to support your local club than throw money out at a club that you're never going to see in your life in person, maybe once or twice, if that. That's
why I'm a fan of MLS and not, really into the Premier League. Anyway, all right, I said, let's move on. So Orlando took on the Clit. That's a throwback. Anyway, so Orlando. So I want you to know this. I have watched all of these games. I am that level of a sicko. Orlando 2, Charlotte 0, which they deserved nothing from that game. They played like garbage. No. It was, which I know is a hot button word today, but god damn, man, they did not play well. It is
what it is. It's I wasn't expecting Orlando to lose that game.
No,
I think Orlando has enough experience in the playoffs to kind of navigate through the competition, and Charlotte is not a playoff regular team, so for them it's like
I don't believe in that Charlotte team. The Fire beat that, or wait, did we? Shit, no, we didn't. No,
maybe next year.
No, that's right. They embarrassed us. That's right. That game just and Cincinnati. I feel like Cincinnati was destroying New York, unless I'm crazy, unless I forgot, unless it was so many days ago I forgot. But Cincinnati does get the win, 1-0. But I feel like they were do a few more. Did you watch this one?
Probably no. I saw the score line, and but yeah, I just saw the score line. Because I really don't care much for Cincinnati or NYFC. Besides, NYFC, their home stadium right now is in the middle of a World Series battleground. So,
well, aren't they about to lose tonight? Like it's the Dodgers are up 3-0, right?
Oh, I guess that's all she wrote. Wait.
Usually,
no, they're tied 5-5.
Oh, there's some fight left in New York, and no one else cares. Anyway, yeah, I kind of was hoping for more out of NYCFC this season, but like it's the East. Not everyone can be amazing all at once.
Who was that cat that NYFC had that was really good, and he was with them for a few years? I don't know if he got sold off.
Oh, Castellanos. Tati Castellanos. Yeah, he got sold to I think they sold him to Turkey, and then he got moved to La Liga. He's leading the front line for somebody, or he did for a season and then got. Oh, see, you're hitting like the trivia in my brain. I know he went to La Liga and had a good year, running somebody's offense, but either he's still there or I'm thinking of someone else. Or else he like bounced to Mexico. Hold on. I gotta
feel
look
that,
it up.
that,
Tati Castellanos, and now the internet's gonna know I can't spell.
Feel that NYFC. I just feel that NYFC team used to be a lot better back in the day, and right now they're just kind of treading water. So
they are treading water. That's because they are. That's like. I mean,
it just shows how bad our playoff system is. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, it's starting to come back to me. Cincy late had a breakaway that could have buried this game, and the dude didn't ended up missing the shot, which, good goaltending or bad strikers, who knows, right? It's the eternal question.
Yeah.
But now we're to the meat and potatoes of this. This is me in a game. This is the only other game in the East I really cared about. #fuck them kids went into Columbus and pulled out a victory, which blew my mind. I watched this thing, and they were hanging on for dear life near the end. But the New York Red Bulls go march into Columbus and take the win. What say you, DPG? What say you?
I think this is funny, considering that we had Connor a few weeks ago, and the man was already talking about how they were going to beat Miami and everything. And
you're right. You're not wrong.
He was hyping himself up, and they lost to a very lackluster New York Red Bulls team. So it's just funny.
Well, isn't it like
honestly,
a plucky group of racists or whatever? Because didn't Van Zier say some shit? Then you got Colkin and.
And then you got the deadbeat dad.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
So you got. So basically, the New York Red Bulls are like the MLS Marseille team. So
they're villains, dude. They're literally villains. Oh man, is this the only let's look at this. Orlando, Miami, Cincinnati, they're probably even if you go to penalty kicks, they're probably going to take care of business on the road, right? Is this the only game to go to 3 games, or the only series to go to 3 games, or does Columbus crumble in New York? Because Columbus has to go into New York. Well, Jersey,
yeah, exactly.
Into Harrison, New Jersey, and they have to come out with a victory.
So yeah, they just pretty much made things worse for themselves. So now they got to go to a away team, be the away team somewhere, go confront a very hostile New York crowd. And yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to find a way to win. I mean, if they squeeze one out, great. They bring it back to Columbus and finish it off. But right now the ball's on the Red Bulls court. No pun intended.
This could be the upset of the MLS playoffs.
The bracket breaker.
The bracket breaker. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of still feel like Columbus is going to pull this out. But
I think so too.
But if New York wins, this just guarantees Miami's
that Miami's gonna freaking win.
Because then, like, what you've got? So, like, let's look at this realistically. Miami is gonna beat Atlanta. Atlanta kind of didn't have any reason to beat Montreal. They're just like it was literally the two same teams.
Yep.
They were, but so Miami's gonna beat Atlanta. They're gonna roll Orlando because Orlando's gonna win that as well. And then you're gonna get Cincinnati or Columbus, because I think if New York wins, Cincinnati rolls, and if Columbus wins, Columbus and Cincinnati, I think they'll beat each other up too much. They'll beat each other up too much, and Miami will just stroll.
I'm still like kind of laughing a little bit because, again, Connor was here a couple of weeks ago, hyping this up, saying how Columbus is the better team than Miami, saying how Columbus is going to beat Miami and blah, 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 and how amazing Columbus is, and they just kind of fell flat on their faces against a 7th seed New York team. I mean, I would understand if it was like a 4th or 3rd, but this is a team that barely kind of squeezed in that last guaranteed
the
spot.
last couple spots, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It boggles the mind. I watched the game and I was just like, Columbus, what the hell? I just kept waiting for them to lock in, and then at the end it got close because they hit the bar at some point, and they were pushing late. All right, so let's move over to the West.
Okay, I don't. Yeah.
Which, to be perfectly honest, like I watch a lot of MLS, but it's on in the background a lot. So this is the first chance I got to watch the West. And it started off with a bang, baby. Vancouver smashing, demolishing, erupting all over Portland 5-0. Did you see this game? Like, it was 3-0, and it looked like it was just over, and both teams were going to just, like, shuffle their way to the end.
Oh, dude, I you know what? It's funny because it happened in Portland. It happened in Portland.
It was in Portland. Providence Park, baby.
Like, oh my God, there was you had Gary. Who's the coach? Who's it? Gary?
Is it Gary? No, Phil Collins or Phil.
Phil Collins. It's the bum that used to coach It's the bum that used to coach Miami.
Yeah, for sure. One of the Nevilles.
One of the Neville. It's Phil Neville. There you go. The Beckham's best friend. So he said some stupid stuff on saying that God damn it, I forgot. That's the best part of this is, oh my God, I will find this quote. It's God is a Portland fan or something like that.
Oh God. It was brutality, man. Okay.
I think this is the God's way of correcting him.
Yeah, no. So Phil Neville said God is a Timbers fan. And Vanni Satrini, the coach for Vancouver, easy for me to say, he said, God can be a Timbers fan, but God doesn't exist for me.
Cold, man. That's cold.
That is cold. That's probably one of the coldest sports quotes in the history of time.
I honestly think that they should fire Phil Neville. Like, the man didn't do anything for Miami. I don't know what business he had in Portland. That is a very odd hired.
I think we're all very lucky that they hired Phil Neville, because like if they were looking for a coach right now,
oh my God, George Heights.
Well, no, I was gonna say there's a man with 3 G's in his name that they probably would have went for.
Oh yeah, you're right. But I guess their hands were tied with Phil Neville, so you're right.
Oh man, I think
and nobody wants that. Yeah. I mean, and we lucked out that he didn't want that San Jose job. But then again, who would want that San Jose?
I contest that even with all things considered, the Fire job was better than the San Jose job. Like, it is more attractive.
No.
Anybody is more attractive.
You got an owner that has deep pockets that's willing to spend. You go to San Jose, it's basically you're nickel and diming every player you get. So there you go.
All right, so let's move on. LAFC outclassed Vancouver. They just did.
Yeah,
It was a very and talk about ho hum. Seattle Houston was the most boring, the most sinisterly 0-0 game in the history of time.
It also happens to be the most consequential game for Houston because their star player Carrasquilla got red carded.
Yep, you're right.
So he's out for the next game.
Well, and did you see how hard they were celebrating that they got that 0-0 in Seattle, or they went to penalties? I forgot they went to penalties.
Oh my God, man!
They were celebrating hard, like we did it, baby, and then Seattle just wins on penalties. Which
it's they were celebrating like they won like the Western Conference, like that was it. They were going to MLS.
All about it. They were all about it. Oh, I did say there was a boring game. Here's another one. Last night, actually, Real Salt Lake, Minnesota. I was, Salt Lake actually, I take that back. Salt Lake really they really screwed up because Minnesota winning this one on penalties is like terrible because I'm pretty sure.
That's all part of the plan, bro.
Well,
that's all.
I mean, Real Salt Lake had a free kick that either hit the crossbar or just over. I can't remember which at this moment. And it just they looked like they deserved the win.
Yeah, but you know what? It's Real Salt Lake. This is like the first time in the playoffs in a while. I mean,
it's been a hot minute.
It's they're getting first time they're getting the jitters. Well, both these teams actually. Minnesota's not really a playoff team, so it could have been anybody's game at that point.
God, do you remember that Mosissian guy? You're Mosissian and
Clint
Mathis and that.
Yeah.
God,
that was odd.
Those Real Salt Lake years.
When Jason Christ's team, the one he's still riding on, that they won the MLS Cup.
Exactly. Was he the original NYCFC guy? Didn't they give him the keys to the car to start their entire existence and he flamed out horribly?
Yeah, I mean, he's been using that MLS Cup from like 2000, I don't know, was it 2007, 2008 or something? I don't remember.
2009, because Columbus had it in 2008 with Guillermo Barros-Schelotto. I swear I'm not drinking malt liquor this week.
And you know what's crazy is that oh man, I remember that.
I didn't know. So for context, everybody, last week during our monster podcast, I went to the store to buy some beer for the podcast. I was like, oh man, I just want like a 22 or something, like a High Life. I want a big tall High Life.
Yeah.
The store didn't have anything, so I was like, oh, like $5 for a 4-pack. I'll just get this, and it was 211, which apparently is malt liquor. And I was drunk.
I literally during break, I literally told Tokyo, I was like, "Hey, Tok, what are you drinking?" He turns the can. I'm like 211. I'm like, "Whoa, what you trying to do, Tok?" Even Jaymes, was like, "Man, bro, your drink is still reserved. What's wrong?" For those of you guys that don't know, that's
PBR type of beer.
No, that's besides the fact that it tastes shitty. It's just. Oh man!
So after 4 of them in an hour and a half span, I was in bad shape. Oh
yeah, man. I bet.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's wrap this up. Oh yeah, LA beat Columbus 5-0. So Mihalovic is hurt. You could tell. Zach Stephens.
He always gets hurt in the playoff. That's Jordy's call sign. He got hurt in 2017. He got hurt now. So there you go.
Well, did he? Oh my God, did he get hurt in Vancouver? Because remember, didn't he have that good year in Vancouver? No, was it Vancouver? Where did he go?
No, he went from the Fire to Europe. Then he came back to Colorado. That's it.
No,
he didn't go anywhere else.
He was somewhere else. Remember, he left the Fire and went somewhere else.
Oh, he went to Montreal.
Yes,
yeah, you're right.
That's where he played well.
He went from the Fire to Montreal to Europe. Back to Colorado. And now that Colorado's a playoff team, he got hurt and he's not there again. So there you go.
Of course he did. All right. So that was the MLS playoffs. Have you caught the fever? I feel feverish. I feel feverish.
Honestly, I'm more excited about like Nations League more than
Nations League sucks. I hate Nations
League. Yeah, I know we do. I know you do.
The problem is, the one problem is, two of the greatest games that have ever happened in the history of soccer have happened during the Nations League. The Pulisic win, and then the win the next Nations League when Reina was leading the team and we just completely we beat Mexico. I think it was 3-0.
I don't know who to believe now, because last time I heard they're having the Mexican team is having a hard time selling tickets in Mexico for the Nations League game for whatever reason.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is the fans' way of saying they're fed up how their federations ran. Because, I mean, after all, they're pretty much been the proving ground for the U.S. men's national team. Let's be honest here. It always feels like a practice game now.
Yeah, they have been steamrolling them, but we'll see. I don't know, man. I hate Nations League. But speaking of hate, before we close out this segment, I'd like to bring something up that's close to home for us. Now, we have admitted on this podcast that we don't follow as much women's soccer as we probably should. And I'm trying to I try, but I don't know anybody. But the Chicago Red Stars apparently are completely concerned about communism because they dropped the red from the name, which, by the way, the name comes from the Chicago flag. It's got four red stars on it.
Red stars
for 4 horrifically horrible tragedies. Couple fires in there, things like that.
I'm like, what's the big deal with Red Star? Because there's actually a men's team in Eastern Europe called Red Star.
Yeah, Belgrade or I had it right the first time, right? Belgrade.
Yeah, but they're not even they're like the opposite of communism. They're not even associated. It's not even based on that. It's just that's what they call their team. Yeah, they just
called it. Yeah, exactly.
It's just at least the Chicago. I mean, there is a reason why it was called the Red Stars. Just look at the Chicago flag. It has red stars, and okay, that makes sense. But to say, oh yeah, it's communism. It's not like there's a hammer and sickle on the logo. It's just.
I can't. Part of me feels like it's this might be the best time to have this conversation with Jaymes not here, but I feel as though society regressing towards being more uptight about sex and ideas and everything else is terrible and bad and probably tied to lowering, people not being as smart. But to be afraid of having to even that to even think about that as being an issue is absolutely mental, absolutely insane. I hate it. Look at this thing. This thing could have been done. It's not centered. I'm not the first one to say this. I didn't notice it at first, but look at this A, not centered. This is disgusting. This is as bad as the Crown. This is as bad as that.
This reminds me of well, I can't. Is it this one?
Dude, it looks like the.
It reminds me a little bit of the Jacksonville Armada.
Oh my God! Yeah, with the thing.
Yeah. It's just
the anchor.
I don't know why. It just reminds me of it. I don't know why, and I don't know about you, but I get I think it's NASL vibes from this logo.
Do you know what I get from this logo? This is a logo.
Yeah.
This is the logo that a video game who doesn't have the rights to a team.
Like a Konami soccer game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
this is
11.
Konami. This would be like, this is probably where they got it. They probably called Konami and was like, hey, you've probably mocked up some stuff for Major League Soccer. What would you do for the Fire? And this was it. You know what I mean? Like this is like, and their logo used to look cool. Look at this.
Look up Look up NASL logo. NASL logo.
Right. You're not wrong. Look, I mean,
wow. I just slap on Chicago Stars and bam, there's the logo.
Dude, it's just it's disgusting at how little was put into it. It's ugly and it's stupid. And right here on the website they have the better one staring you in the face.
You know what's crazy? If they would have gone this route, they should have just done a complete rebrand. Like if you want to get rid of the Stars, just get rid of Stars and call the team something else. But the fact is, you just kind of got lazy and said that we're gonna be the Chicago Stars. We'll get rid of the word red.
Yeah, let's change it to something that means something different, like the Chicago Proletariat or something. No, seriously. Look, on the website, it's like, yo, dog, here's our stupid logo. Oh, by the way, this is the way better one that we've been using for years. I hate it for them because, again, I want, the Chicago Red Stars had Sam Kerr at one point, right? This could be one of the best women's teams in the world if they wanted to be, right? The NWSL is still, I mean, it's got to be up there as the best, if not the second best league in the world, right? In women's soccer. Yeah. So, it's insane to see that, and then again, we're going to see, listen, women's soccer is different than men's. You're going to see a Champions League between North America and Europe. You're going to see it.
You know what?
Because there's too much talent not to, right? And, could you imagine... Well, real quick, I'm sorry. Can you imagine this flaming piece of shit next to, a Barcelona or a Chelsea badge?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Man. Yeah. And, knowing ESPN or whoever's, showing the game, they'll probably put the old logo anyway,
exactly. Then we'll give a shit about women's soccer. But I don't know, man. I will say, shout out to my parents, by the way. They're starting to get really into women's sports. They've been watching a ton of... I know it just ended, but they've been watching NWSL. They've been watching WNBA. Anyway, I digress. But
oh man,
I feel terrible for the Red Stars. I would like to continue to call them the Red Stars. I mean,
there is a red star in the middle of the logo. If you're trying to get your whole idea was to get rid of communist. Symbolisms. I mean, in reality, all you need is a hammer and sickle, and bam, there you go.
I mean, what you have to do is in the fans, we have to start calling them the Reds.
Yeah, that's the Reds,
dude.
Exactly.
It just blows my mind. Anyway, so
let me ask you a question. Though. Do you think there's gonna be a fan outcry and they're gonna have how we had the crown and we really got pissed off and we freaking revolted and
if you know what, they're a few more years away from being able to have had that power. So the reason why the crown didn't get changed is because their shit was already in production. And I guess in this case it's probably already in production too. So they gotta hope that it blows over. That they're just really hoping the shit blows over because this is stupid and looks terrible. I miss intricate things. I really hate the whole simplification of logos and shit. It's stupid. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. No way. It's the children who are wrong.
Yeah, it's just.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Well, You know what? Shout out to Chicago Red Stars. I'm gonna go to a game next year. Or wait, are they playing now? Are they done or are they playing now? I'm gonna find out. Yeah, duh. I'm so stupid. They wouldn't release a new logo and they're in the middle of playing. Anyway, I'm gonna go to a game next season. I'm gonna try and be a better Red Stars fan, and you're gonna hear more Red Stars content on this channel. Anywho, we will be back. We'll be right back to talk about apparently a highway robbery happening over in Paris. Peace. Welcome back, fellow enemies of the fire. We are here to talk about all of the controversy linked to one of the least important things to ever exist is the awards season. Yay! So the Ballon d'Or happened yesterday, and I can assure you that I did not travel to Paris as I will not be winning the Ballon d'Or. And did I meme correctly? Did I do that correctly? And so, oh man, it's hard for me to muster all this. I'll say this: I hate that the Ballon d'Or happens now. Like you can't have a season that goes from April to or from August to April, and then be like December, be like we got the best player of the year. It's like no.
That should have been done like in July or something like that. Like when the season's done and you tally up all the goals and stuff, you know.
I agree. I hate that. It should be a summer award, right? Like right before the summer tournaments, or literally like right before the next season starts or something.
Yep.
I don't know. But to me, if you're asking me, this is only if you're asking me, I kind of disagree with literally almost every single pick here.
Well, you don't think Harry Kane deserved the Gerd Müller trophy?
You mean, Harry, I went to Bayern Munich and still couldn't win a fucking trophy, Kane?
Well, apparently he won one.
What? Oh,
oh man.
Oh,
apparently.
You know what? They deserve that. They deserve that. Harry Kane wins a trophy. A personal trophy, while Bayern wins shit. Anyway. So, like, let's run through this real quick. Let's just go from top to bottom here. So, apparently the Young Player of the Year award on the men's side, the Copa Trophy, Yamin Yamal, who I can barely ever pronounce his name correctly. We saw him break out pretty hardcore over the summer here. Any disagreements on this? I mean, this one, I guess I should say, I have no issues with this. But who's the other kid for Spain that he plays right next to in that midfield? Who's also 19?
I was gonna say Gavi, but he's been hurt.
Yeah, you're right, Gavi. You're right. Right after the summer, Gavi got snapped like a twig.
I don't know, man. You know those teams, those places, they make players.
Yeah, it's
like
a
cookies,
player
man.
factory, right?
Yeah.
So then, the very German named award for the best striker on the men's side, which I also see that's missing on a well, unless that's what we got to figure out what this award is. But anyway, so Harry Kane and Mbappe share it. Who is this for? What is this for? Do we just want to see them in suits and collect like semi-heavy trophies? Like,
I always, I get it. This is like a FIFA award, but if you're gonna do stuff like this, just keep it like between the leagues. Like, hey, you want to have an award ceremony, have it for La Liga. If you want to have an award ceremony, have it for the Premier League, and that's it. Like,
yeah, there should be a player of every league, right? The player of the league, player. But
I think they do. I know Premier League has like, young player of the season or something like that, but. It's just I don't know, man.
But I'm kind of burying the lead. How do you not give this to the cat at Man City, Erling Haaland? How do you not give this to Erling Haaland? How?
I'm so stunned that Harry Kane got it over him.
How does Mbappe and Harry Kane get it over Erling Haaland? I'm sorry. I guess I'm stupid. It's my
I guess
fault.
we don't watch enough European soccer. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah, exactly.
I guess our problem is that we don't really care. That's all.
So, and then God, I guess I did bad research. I don't. It does the women get like a goalie of the year award here? I don't know, but
Wait, oh yeah, no, it's never mind.
it's not over here. So
Carlo Ancelotti got the men's coach of the year. I mean, I guess. You could have also put in Pep Guardiola in there.
No, this is what I'm talking about. How is it not Xabi Alonso for what he did at Bayer Leverkusen?
That too. Hey, you know what? That's even a better argument.
To me, that's a no fucking brainer. Like club of the year.
How did you manage to knock out Bayern Munich?
Well, they signed Harry Kane, and the curse moved to them.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. But at least Harry Kane got a trophy, so maybe this might break the curse. I don't know.
So we got to figure it out here. This is going to be the funnest thing to do over the course of the next 3 seasons here. Who is cursed? Is it Tottenham or Harry Kane? Is it like one of those things where like you go in the house and you die and you're never allowed to leave and you're a ghost? Or is it like or is Harry Kane like The Ring, the video? You know what I mean? That like when you watch it, you die.
I gotta throw something out. Tottenham eliminated Man City in the EFL Cup earlier today.
In the what cup?
In the EFL, what is it called? EPL Cup? Is it?
You don't even know what it's called. Is it the Caribou Cup? Is it the FA Cup? Is it?
It's hold on. It's called the EFL Cup. That's it. It's called the EFL Cup. But they always use the sponsorship, so I gotta look it up now. It's called the EFL Cup. That's it.
Okay. Hey.
It was known as the Carabao Cup. There you go.
Okay. All right. That rinky-dink third place tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they didn't get a sponsorship this year. Shocking. Shocking. So, I guess the reserve team of Tottenham beat the reserve team of Man City. So there you go.
Way to go, kids. Way to go. All right. So I was surprised to not even see Sam Kerr on the short list. So I'm guessing she's been injured because Sam Kerr is nowhere to be seen on the short list. And I'm not even going to I'll say this. The only way I know this woman is I played with her in FIFA last year. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. So I'm not even going to pretend Etana Bonamati. Hey,
Bonmati.
Yeah.
So what about the club of the year? How do you feel about the club of the year?
I think they're stupid. Women's Barcelona. I mean, I guess that makes sense. But
it's ironic how they have to give Real Madrid a Barcelona trophy, right?
I guess. How do you get worked up over club of the year? Why don't you just pick the 2 that won the Champions League? Isn't that the whole fucking point of the Champions League? I'm sorry, I'm cursing too much.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean,
Hey, shout out to Emma Hayes, by the way, USWNT coach and former coach of Chelsea, the artist formerly known as Emma Hayes. Shout out to her. But we've avoided it long enough. Rodri won the Ballon d'Or. How do you feel? How does this make you feel? It makes me feel angry and upset, and then I realize that I shouldn't feel anything about it.
I guess Vinicius was the better pick, and for whatever reason they picked Rodri. I guess that's the controversy of the so far, is that Vinicius didn't get the Ballon d'Or.
Do we really think Vinicius deserved it? Like, who's the best player in the world to you?
Who's the best player? You know what? I'm not gonna say his name, because I guess he's past his prime by now, and he plays for a certain MLS club.
I agree. I kind of agree. He's still the best player in the world.
You know what? He's still getting. You know what? He's still getting call-ups from Argentina, so that's saying something.
It's not going to be as weird as it is now in the near future.
Yeah, it's. I don't know, man. Honestly, it's
hard.
I don't get worked up over.
It's hard not to say Messi's the best player in the world still, right?
Yeah, it's. Because one guy is still playing for a national team. He's playing on a very relevant league. The other guy is out in the desert, making his money, making that oil money.
Well, yeah,
So,
because they're not winning nothing. The other Saudi team is kind of like the big dog,
yeah.
the one that Neymar went to. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
they're like, it's man, that's I don't know. But for me, like, yeah, right, like I didn't even want to turn this into a Messi versus an MLS versus the world kind of bullshit. But like, yeah, a Vinicius. I'd be feeling the same kind of way. Like I would have less of a problem with Vini if Vini won it. I would have less of a problem. Rodri, just no way. I get that he was unplayable in the summer, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's my problem. I haven't seen enough of him.
For Man City, he had 8 goals and 9 assists last season. This season, he has none. He's only played 2 matches. That's his stats for Man City.
Well, yeah, because he got hurt too, right?
Yeah, let me see Vinicius. Oh, look, Vinicius last year, he had 15 goals, 5 assists, played 26 games.
Well,
this year,
Rodri plays in the midfield though, and Vinicius is up there on the wings scoring goals.
And this season so far, Vinicius has played 11 matches, 5 goals and 4 assists. So honestly, even if you look at from last year's stats, 8 and 9 versus 15 and 5, I think goal contributions or goals themselves, I think Vinicius he's got Rodri beat on stats alone. 20 goals or 20 goals making power versus 8 and 9. 17. So
I like I said, I would agree. I still kind of feel I legitimately feel like Messi's still the best player in the world. And I think Luis Suarez has a shout for being on a short list. But
if you want to pretend like if the Golden Boot winners want to, this whoever FIFA wants to pretend MLS doesn't exist, by all means, Vinicius. But
Vinicius, I guess, does he get points off of him because Brazil was such a complete disaster?
I mean,
and has been for about a year or two.
So what exactly is this Ballon d'Or? Like I got, and the reason I'm asking is because are we giving it to the person that scores the most goals, or is this just a popularity contest?
No, this is.
I remember.
Well, remember all the years it was between Messi and Ronaldo. Everybody called it a popularity contest.
Because if I recall this, Tim Weah's dad, George Weah,
who was at the ceremony.
Won.
Yes, he
who
did.
was at the ceremony. He won the Ballon d'Or.
The first and only African player to win.
Yeah. Yeah, but then he had a good reason why he won it. He freaking did amazing things for AC Milan. So.
Oh yeah, he had he had a monster campaign and dude, George Weah. Speaking of tangent. Did you see that today Timothy Weah scored yet again? So second goal in 2 games, scoring back-to-back games, and he assisted on a Weston McKinnie goal for Juventus today. So our boys are playing well, man.
We invoked George Weah. So and then just keep in mind these are George Weah's stats. I'm just gonna throw these out. Because, we're fighting over a guy that made 15 goals and 5 assists and another guy that made 9 goals or 8 goals or whatever. George Weah played 218 games in League One. I believe it was PSG. 84 goals and 22 assists. Then his Serie A stats, 114 games, 46 goals, 29 assists.
Dang, that's good. That's.
I mean, we're talking about. And late 80s, early 90s, Serie A, when you had guys like
1-0.
1-0. You probably had some of the best goalkeepers playing there. You had some of the best center backs playing there. You had a young Paolo Maldini. You got a Franco Baresi playing. Not to mention, and
who's the guy who broke Brian McBride's face? That guy was playing there too.
Who was it? Wow.
I forget, but anyway,
Yeah.
Italy used to be
So,
the defensive capital of the planet.
you had to be a really special player to make things happen, and ironically, you had George Weah and you had Maradona. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, everybody good played there for a hot minute. You know, they
Yep.
even had Ronaldinho for a minute.
Yep.
Man.
I mean, that's the thing, though. You know, the Ballon d'Or actually made sense back then. Like, you get a guy like George Weah, scoring goals like crazy in Serie A on the defensive league. You know,
yeah, guys
and
didn't move around as much, so you didn't get as much cross-pollination. So it was like, who's the best, a Serie A guy or a, Ligue 1 guy, or, all that stuff.
And this is before the Premier League was actually took off.
Yeah, well, this was before the Premier League in general, right?
Yeah, because the Premier League started like in 91.
Yeah,
91 or 92 or 91. I remember. I don't know when, but it kind of felt like,
God, Nirvana changed everything.
Yeah, it kind of felt like almost even if you look at old games, even if you look at old games from back from like the late 80s, early 90s Premier League, like the pitch was horrible. They had mud marks on the pitch.
Well, wasn't the 80s the height of the hooliganism as well?
Yeah. So it's like you had all that. So
it was
think
grimy,
about it.
Baby.
And you got George Weah, comes from a country that a lot of people have never heard of, and makes things happen. He made magic happen in AC Milan. Star AC Milan.
And big shout out. How many people can say, "Oh yeah, I was the best player in the world at a sport, and now I'm the president"? You know what I mean? Like,
there you go. Yeah.
I don't think he's the president anymore. I think he retired, but pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
I mean, the only other guy I could think of that went into politics is Cuauhtemoc Blanco, but
that did not end well. That didn't go well.
Yeah.
That's not going well. Anyway, so hold on. We brought him up earlier.
Yeah.
And I know this isn't super soccer related, but so this happened. This is very Chicago related. Let's put it that way.
Oh, so, man.
Dwayne,
the guy, yeah.
Dwayne
he did
Wade
play for the Bulls. He is from Chicago. But Miami did him bogus. Miami did him bogus.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the man who did him bogus is the same man that did this. I could be mistaken though. But which one's worse?
So
which one's worse, Dwayne Wade or Cristiano Ronaldo?
One of them looks like nightmare stuff, like
nightmare fuel.
Yeah, this is nightmare fuel.
Oh, oh no! Oh God, that poor man.
Said, oh man, there's been so many memes about this. I've actually. Oh man.
I remember when he signed with the Bulls. It was like the Bulls get Gabrielle Union and also Dwayne Wade in the deal.
you know what's crazy? You know what's funny too is that during the whole acceptance speech, he started kind of like, "Hey, who is that guy behind me?"
This is grade A, absolute horrifically terrible. I would like for you to understand that. I would like to mention that. This is horrifically terrible. You know what? And I feel like this one's worse. I feel like this one's worse.
You cannot say it's like, oh yeah, we have technology, because like they made the Jordan statue like in the 90s, and that's like iconic at the United Center.
To be fair though, how often do you go up to it and look at the face? It is the jump man.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, man. But you know what? And you know what? It's Miami too, so you got all that humidity. What if you start getting rust?
Hopefully it rusts over. Good God. What a I feel like Dwayne Wade is just getting disrespected in retirement.
Who does that look like to you, man? I've seen memes talking about it. Looks like, Lawrence Fishburne.
It kind of looks like Paul Mooney if he had like a little bit of a beard. I don't know, man. Like,
here's another one I saw. Antoine Walker. Someone posted that it looked like Antoine Walker.
I don't even know what Antoine Walker looks like.
That's a basketball player. Where is it? Let me see. Let me make sure I got it. I know who Antoine Walker is.
Wait, Antoine. Hold on.
No, yeah, Antoine Walker, Antoine. Toine. And then put Walker.
Oh my God. Oh no.
Put Antoine Walker. If you put Antoine Walker and Dwayne Wade statue, they have memes about that now.
My computer is crashing. I have too much going on. Oh my God. Whoops. Oh my goodness gracious, dude. That threw me for a loop. Okay, you know what? I think you're right. I think it is Antoine Walker. I think Boston bought a statue and realized they didn't want it and sold it to Miami.
And you know what's messed up too is that he also played for the Heat.
Just what happens? What say you, DPG? What happens if say like your community?
Now I'm scared.
What happens if Gurney is like, we love DPG, let's make a statue, and they make a statue for you, and
I hope they don't hire
sucks.
this guy.
Well, no. What if it sucks? What if it's just awful? What if you look like literally Michael Bolton or something? How do you handle that? It's an honor and a disrespect all at once.
I think you kind of have to just like swallow your pride and just nod. When you try to be nice, just nod. It's like, dude, they made the Rocky Balboa statue. I mean, at least from the movies, it looks decent.
Yeah, I've never been to Philly. I should go.
Yeah, you know what? It's just, from a distance, it looks like almost like a zombie. Like if you look at it from far away, it's like.
Oh man, Oh God, that makes me so happy.
Imagine walking by that stadium at night and seeing that.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, God damn. Oh my God, it looks so threatening. The Miami police are gonna shoot at it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, why would they do Dwayne Wade wrong like this? They know. This. I hate it. This whole episode has been like people being done wrong. Like,
I mean, honestly, man, now I'm scared that if the one day that we actually get our own stadium and they make a Frank Coppola statue, oh man, what if they mess that up too?
Oh, I hope they mess it up. I hope they go the wrong way though, like kind of like Handsome Squidward, right? Like maybe make him look like Fabio instead of like make him look worse. Like make Klopas look way better instead of worse. Like that would be pretty great.
They're gonna make him. They're gonna shape him out to like a Greek god and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry.
What kind of statue? What kind of statue you want? I don't know. He's Greek. Okay, Greek god it is.
Oh, just the thought of that makes me happy. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't want to bring up and get so off topic, but before we stop this segment and get into our Chicago Fire, little pocket here. There's some MLS news. There's some. So apparently, Bruce Arena has learned from whatever it is he said and promises not to say whatever it is he said at San Jose, because San Jose is talking about hiring the 70-some-odd-year-old coach who I watched his Kicking It interview. He wasn't done. He wanted to coach, which I don't know. Like, I would feel like in my 70s I'd want to just kick it at the crib. But apparently he's California bound. I mean, is this a good Is this going to be a good move for San Jose? Because honestly, had you asked me the same thing about New England, I would have said no. And that actually, they broke the points record.
This is kind of interesting because I mean, San Jose is not known to have deep pockets. So I think they're more or less if the guy is willing and he's willing to take whatever San Jose offers, then by all means, I guess it's in the short term it's good for San Jose.
Is this gonna equate to anything? Like, do we think Portland's gonna get worse?
Depends who Portland hires too.
Well, Portland has a coach.
Yeah, that guy is barely a coach. I don't. Let's be honest here. I mean, his buddy got him the job in Miami. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
No, of course. No, I just say that because even if San Jose improves, who are they gonna leapfrog? Like, who's gonna get worse?
That's a hard division. Like, if you think about it, you got Real Salt Lake woke up. Minnesota's trying to like catch up with everybody, and it's like,
I mean, Minnesota has the most low key like good history in MLS. Like, think about like a Cincy or a Nashville, and they kind of like are having peaks and valleys, but Minnesota's been pretty solid.
Keep in mind, you still have San Diego in the picture. So now that whole West Coast, you're talking about Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, LA, the LA teams, San Diego, and then you look into Real Salt Lake. Who else am I missing? Colorado. It's like right then and there, you have your playoff. You already have your playoff contenders. So how are you gonna do?
Houston. Look, Houston.
Houston.
Hold on. Look, so this is who missed the playoffs. God dang it, I forgot about all these teams. So Austin FC, FC Dallas, St. Louis City, and Sporting Kansas City. Who's getting worse next season? Because I feel like Austin will get better. Yeah. I feel like St. Louis will get better. I feel like FC Dallas should be better. Like, who's getting worse?
Points. Look at all those points. Like 41 points was FC Dallas. 37 points was. Look at the drop off between Sporting Kansas City and San Jose. It's like a 10-point. It's a 10-point drop off. So, I get Sporting Kansas City doesn't want to give up Peter Vermees for whatever reason. He's still riding on that MLS Cup from like over 10 years ago. Has it been 10 years? I don't even know. But
they lost 25 games this year. 25 games. They lost. Like, how many did the Fire win? 19 or lose? Hold on. 18. We lost 18 games. Can you believe that? New England lost 21 games? How did they finish ahead of us?
Yeah, 2 more wins.
Yeah, apparently.
Less draws.
So, okay, hold on. Let's wrap this up. Let's be concise about this. Is this a good move? Is this a good move for San Jose?
San Jose needs anybody with a pulse to manage that team. I think, like I said, in the short term is fine, but I'm not expecting Bruce Arena to stick around there forever. Eventually, he is going to retire, and on top of that, Bruce Arena is going to want full control. Like he's going to want the Greg Berhalter package.
Yeah, give it to him.
And yeah, I mean, I guess like at this point, San Jose just needs anybody. I mean, hell, just I guess
more bodies, right?
I guess, yeah, just more bodies, and I guess this Bruce Arena actually will make sense. The move will make sense. But I'm just saying that the Western Conference is just a much harder conference if you're at the bottom of the table. Like,
I mean,
you have teams that...
Yeah, you have to leapfrog. Like, it's the same thing with the Fire. Like, as much as we want to get better, we have to leapfrog a lot of teams, dude. People have to get worse.
Keep in mind, this is before you add in San Diego.
Oh, yeah. In San Diego, I mean, the word is San Diego might have some Kevin De Bruyne action. What do you think?
They want to make, San Diego's wants to hit the ground running, so they want to kind of do what Seattle did. They want to do what LAFC did. So they want to hit the ground running, and they're going to have the momentum. Even if Bruce Arena joins San Jose, San Diego's going to have the momentum. So it's going to be tough to kind of revitalize that, that franchise. It's just I don't know. I don't see them making the playoffs unless any of those teams that made the playoffs actually drops off, like Colorado, maybe. Even Colorado, I would even say, Portland's probably the weakest link so far right now. And
hopefully they get weaker. We'll talk about that in the next segment. But yeah. So I'm with you. For me, San Jose and Bruce Arena are unfortunately going to stay in the bottom. Bruce Arena is going to end his illustrious and actually should be celebrated career on a lackluster note, and San Jose is not going anywhere. Now, San Diego, on the other hand, I am a big fan of watching Chucky Lozano fail, so I can't wait for that. But Kevin De Bruyne, I still think is way too good to be coming to Major League Soccer. But the reports are coming that he's talking about coming to Major League Soccer. Well, obviously, he says he definitely prefers Major League Soccer to like Saudi and stuff, which is, yeah, I understand. But God, he's still playing at such a high level. Like, you would think that's still a few more years away.
I mean, that's a lot of money left on the table for not going to Saudi.
Yeah, but like, there's difference. There's, like, if you respect your wife and she's just not, like, she's your property, you might like to come to America.
I get that. No, I get that. But you get what I'm saying, though. You can literally walk away from Saudi Arabia with like generational wealth for your great grandkid.
You're right.
Grandkid.
You play Saudi Arabia for 2 seasons and you have the economy of like Liechtenstein.
There you go. There you go.
Oh man. God, any other Major League Soccer nonsense? Kind of tangentially related. The U.S. men's national team is going to have a documentary on Max after the World Cup. So, I'm excited. No, wait, is it next year or
before?
Before the World Cup.
It's going to be like the road to the World Cup, but there's not really a road to the World Cup.
So, I think this could be like the Super Bowl Shuffle where it's prophetic, or it could be like Spinal Tap.
So my thing is, and I'm a big fan of like when they do documentaries like this, especially and I wish they would have done something like that when the U.S. men's national team actually had qualifiers. Like I would rather watch, because obviously there's a lot of pressure in qualifiers and whatnot. It would have been a more exciting product if you would have put them in qualifiers, followed them through every qualifier, and yeah. But now think about it. They're going to make a documentary, but what they're going to show? The U.S. men's national team playing fundies? The Nations League? So, yeah, just something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. I'd rather them not have a spectacle. I'd rather them kind of like really grind it out and figure their shit out and do well. But like also, if they do well, this could be the coolest thing in the history of entertainment.
Oh,
right?
No, of course, yeah.
But it
will be cool, yeah.
But like, some of these guys golf and shit. Like, some of these guys are the most like. Yeah, we got a comment on it too. When I called Christian Pulisic the most Rizless player on the planet, but like, honestly, like, what are we gonna get out of Pulisic? Nothing. It's gonna be just dry, just complete like. They'll put like a weird hat on his head and be like, "Yeah, he's a total goofball. Look at him." Like,
I mean, it will be cool. It will be cool if like they show a little bit of like him playing in AC Milan and getting his perspective a little bit.
That's a lot of signing. That's a lot of dotted lines.
I know that's a lot of red tape. I get that.
Oh my God!
But
I can't wait to get an inside look at who Serginho Dest is as a person.
Oh my God! You really want to open that can of worms?
I want all of that, dude. I feel like Serginho Dest should be followed 24/7. Anyway.
So you got the guy. So the U.S. backline is it's like a misfit. It's like how what we think of Turkey, it's just a misfit of toys. Because on one end, literally, you have probably, arguably, the one of the better or the best Premier League defenders. And on the other end, by the way, let me add on to that, discipline. On the other end, you got this guy that he can snap at any moment and get you a red card.
Or score a worldie.
Or score a worldie. So you don't know what you're going to get. Either you're going to get, Roberto Carlos, or you're going to get freaking Vinny Jones. You don't know what you're going to get.
You know what I'm constantly think of? And I don't know. If this makes any sense, you'll get it. If it doesn't, they won't. But you ever seen that movie where, like, Taraji P. Henson is dating Tyrese, and then, like, Snoop Dogg comes out of jail, is, like, terrorizing him?
Oh, yeah.
So, Tyrese's friend is, like, one of the, what's the guy? Gooding, one of the Goodings, right?
Yeah.
Him. I feel like Serginho Dest is that dude, like, where he he kneels down and prays that that he is able to kill this person. Like, God, please protect me as I murder the fuck out of this person. Just that kind of ridiculousness, right? Like, that's who I feel like that kind of dichotomy lives within Serginho Dest, and I'm all for it.
It's just. I'm always waiting. Every time I see Serginho Dest play for USMNT National League, I'm like, oh man, who the hell is gonna piss this guy off? Who's gonna piss him off? Whose day is it gonna be?
Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, talking about waiting, we're gonna make you wait because we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back. And I mean, I don't think we're gonna have that much longer, man. We just like the Fire. There's not a lot going on. We'll talk some Fire 2 playoffs. We'll talk some dream transfers, and we'll complain about Gaston Jimenez.
There you go.
We love you all. Peace. Oh, kick the like button. Kick it. Welcome back, fellow enemies of the Fire. We are here to talk about the Chicago Fire. The season may be over, but things are happening. DPG, before we get into the nitty-gritty, did you fill out your survey?
I did, actually. I want to win something.
I want to win something, he said. So first and foremost, there was two. There was like a Carvana survey and then a Fire survey. Did you? Yep. So what's hilarious is I think we talked about it on this podcast, but my car died earlier this year, and because of the Chicago Fire's a sponsorship with Carvana, I tried to sell it to them. Now, for various reasons, that did not come to pass, but their marketing apparently worked because I gave it a try. Did you fill out the Carvana one, or did you just say screw it?
I filled that one out. I was brutally honest. I told them I don't use your service. I don't care much for net.
That's what they want, man.
Yeah, I don't care about Carvana. I wouldn't buy a car from you guys anyway. So, but I did find the Fire one interesting though.
Okay, yeah, the Fire one was interesting.
Certain things were asked where I was like, are you really asking this? So
what I liked about it was like it was like, so they listed about 10 perks that you get as a Chicago Fire season ticket member, and they asked you to rank them on like how important they are to you. And I really liked that because I was able to say like what was important to me. And I was able to put the parking number 6 because I still want people to get it, but like it's not really that important to me, right? So number one, number one, I told them for me it's the free Apple TV. I watch so much of the Major League Soccer season. To me, that's literally I'll come home from a game and then just put on 360 and watch it for the rest of the night, while I'm playing video games. You know what I mean? So that was the most important aspect for me. What was the most important one for you?
So parking was up there. I think it might have been the second one.
Which I'm sure.
And then to add on, because I drive from from up north. But what's interesting to add on to that parking one was they ask, would you prefer parking or would you prefer a $100 store credit for the fire store? And I'm like, are you guys really asking this? You're asking me to choose between a $700 value for a $100 store credit. Obviously, it was a no-brainer, but I wonder how many people they get that way. So,
well, I vote. I don't drive. I don't drive there. I use either rideshare or the bus. Yeah. And to be honest, man, I still picked that. I still picked the free parking because I'd rather people get the free parking. Like you said, it's so much better value because I know, I used it. I used my parking pass once this season because a buddy of mine drove and I rode with him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man.
I think it makes it easier to be a season ticket holder when you add in the free parking. It makes it a lot easier. Because before they offered the free parking, I kind of had to wonder whether or not, I have the ability to go to more games and not worry about paying $30 for parking beforehand on the app. Because if I wanted the discount, I had to do it beforehand. And the fact that we got it free now, honestly it made the argument to be a season ticket holder a lot easier.
Yeah, I agree. That was a huge giveaway. That is smart for them to give away. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was a big deal. The Apple TV thing I know is more of a league-wide mandate, but I still feel like that, to me, that was the best perk. That was my number one.
Yeah, I was always a fan of the Apple TV stuff, just because not only do you get to see the fire, but you get to see everybody else, and you get all, and then they put all sorts of cool content on there. So it's good stuff.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Now, now before, God, I forgot. There was a question on that Carvana one that was like, has Carvana's sponsorship of the Chicago Fire restored trust for you? And it's like, that's how bad things were when they took on this sponsorship deal. They could not do business in the state of Illinois at that time. It's that, oh man, I had to laugh at that one. But,
let's be honest. I mean, the whole Carvana sponsorship, it's not a good look. I'll leave it at that. I think we've had better sponsors in the past. No, we have talked about all the sponsors we've had in the past.
If we were better at YouTube, we would put a link right here to the video that we did of ranking the sponsors.
Yeah. I think we all agree that Quaker was the best one. Just because they used to give us all sorts of free stuff.
No, I think you guys were saying Best Buy. Oh no,
I didn't say Best Buy.
I think me and you were talking Quaker. Now I don't even remember.
We ever did? I don't know. Were you there? Did you go when they used to give out the free milk, or they used to give out the granola bars and stuff like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and I could have sworn I thought I heard speaking of giveaways, I thought I heard at the end of the last game that they were supposed to give us treats or candy or something like that.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No, where was it at?
Oh yeah, no. People were just holding big things of candy for you to grab on the way out. Actually,
I didn't get
maybe was it even on the way in? Actually, I'm trying to remember. But yeah, it was just they were giving away candy. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even get any. I had the little one too. He would have gone crazy with that candy. But,
well, there you go. There you go.
I think that might have been a good thing. There you go.
Yeah, he would have been up till 4 a.m.
Exactly. He would have been it's bad enough. It was bad enough. He was screaming his heart out at the game. And imagine if I had given him candy, he would have been
bouncing off the walls and stuff.
Yep.
What was some of the other? So they asked your opinion about what could be better, and I will say my number one thing I said was a new security service. Now, and then in parentheses I put, I understand this is through the city. I'm not stupid, but number one, that would make it better. Number two, I would. So this is what I put. Number one was that. Number two, I want better signage for when stuff is happening before the game. Like
Okay,
there's
so
so
for the outside stuff.
There's so much. Well, not even the outside, even the stuff in that because I didn't know the first half of the season that when you first come in the south lot or the south entrance, that over there is where they do all that stuff. Like when they had Chicago Sports Day, I had no idea who any of the players were that were signing autographs ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that kind of stuff. They talked about a TIFO display the last game of the season, and I went looking everywhere for it, and then it was right there right when you first go in. You know what I mean? So better signage for that stuff for sure. What else?
I think I picked something.
I put more vegan options.
Oh my god, I knew you were gonna say that. I think I wrote something like, do a free upgrade or something like that. One time a year, if someone wants to sit down and experience, better seats or whatnot, give them the opportunity to do one free upgrade.
Okay,
except for Miami.
Yeah. Oh, that's not dumb, man. That's not dumb, but in theory, eventually, let's fill the place, right?
Yeah.
So what else? I definitely. I put in there a way to get the giveaway, and then still be able to be outside of the stadium and go hang out and tailgate.
Yeah, because you want to put that stuff in your car.
Well,
at least for me. I mean, if I'm carrying a bunch of stuff, I would like the opportunity to put it back in my car, because I'd rather walk around the stadium not carrying anything.
Well, I mean, look at this thing. Do you guys see how much I'm having this? I'd like to stay outside of the stadium and do this as long as I possibly can before going into the game, and I don't want to miss the giveaways. I got also. Dang, it's hard to when you're not looking. But I got all sorts of giveaways. I got stacks of stuff over here now from this one season. But that's one thing I would love is to be able to get the giveaway and then still be hanging out and tailgating. But yeah, and so there was another question that was a big deal. They said, would you rather have a nice gift, season ticket holder gift for the account, or would you like lesser gifts for each seat?
I did the nicer gift for the account because I have two seats, and usually that second seat is either filled by my kid or is by Jaymes, because Jaymes went with me to the Fire game, or sometimes it's not filled at all. Sometimes I go solo. So
same.
So I don't think, obviously, I don't all the stuff that I get from the Fire, like the giveaways and the gifts, I normally put that stuff away in a plastic bin or something, and that's it. I'm hoping that someday when I get a bigger basement or something, I will be able to display that stuff. So I prefer the nicer gift. I mean, and you said you do too, right?
Yeah, I was really shocked at how nice the gift was this year with the pins.
Yeah,
and a scarf. You can't see it because it's over here, but we got a scarf, and that was perfect. That was literally perfect, man. The giveaways have been cool. My favorite giveaway was by far the baseball jersey. That was sick.
Yeah, that was good. But another thing too is the season ticket holder gifts. Now they're kind of they've been getting a little bit nicer the past 2 years. I mean, compared to how back in you could say 10 years ago, LA Galaxy was probably giving stuff that's equivalent to what we're getting now, the nice box and the nice little trinkets and all that stuff. And then back then we were just getting scarves.
Well, that's the thing too is I don't want to get a pennant because Billy and Tommy can't stop fighting over who gets whatever. I don't care about your kids. I want the one nicer gift.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And honestly, it's because if you think about it, I mean, if you get a nicer gift, there's a lot of ways you can go with it. You can You can do memorabilia, you can do autograph stuff, you can whatever, it just there's much more bigger possibilities. I don't really care if you give me I wouldn't I don't care much for scarves because that's kind of been their go-to the past couple of years is just, oh yeah, here's the scarf and this is your season ticket holder gift. And that's it. Here's 2 scarves.
I
That's
like
it.
scarves. I mean, like I am terrified because if you look, my collection grew by 3 this season.
Oh, dude,
But,
I got a whole bin full of scarves. Like when I used to live back in Chicago, my whole wall was filled with scarves that I've gotten over the years as a season ticket holder, or just stuff I bought in general. And then I had to put that stuff away because there's no way I'm gonna hang like 20 different scarves on the wall.
dang. That's I'm kind of jealous. I like the scarves, but yeah, like
Well, I mean, it's a combination of like I got the Star Wars scarf, like these special edition scarves that I kind of thought were cool, like the Star Wars one. I got a few Section 8 ones, from back when I used to, sit in Section 8. A couple of, user Chicago Fire fan made ones, and of course a bunch of other ones that I bought.
yeah,
at the
over the
stadium.
years, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I'm guessing, I would bet money you have this one.
Which is that one?
This one right here.
I can't.
The blue Chicago one with the old logo half and half.
Yeah, I might actually.
It's
Adidas
one.
I have the red one.
Oh, it's red on
one.
it's red on the other side and says Fire with Adidas on both ends.
Okay,
but
because
anyway,
I have the one that's the logo.
But
And
no, go ahead, my man.
No, I was gonna say some of these scarves I had them autographed too. Like I would, because obviously I would have just wear the jersey and the scarf, and then like back in the day. So back in the day when when the Fire used to play at Toyota Park, I actually had pretty good seats. I had the club seats at Toyota Park, and they gave you access, kind of like similar to how the United, I guess the United part at Soldier Field does.
Oh yeah.
They had like a section like that too, and sometimes you would find Fire players that are not playing, hanging out there.
Oh, right.
So I think I saw like David Accam. He actually signed my scarf.
Hell yeah.
So, but that was the cool part. That's only I had the jersey, I had the scarf, and obviously I don't want to sign the jersey because the jersey is going to go in the washing machine. The scarf is not. So
yeah, fair.
Then,
you're not wrong. So, all right. Well, was there any other questions that you were thinking about from that? Like, is there anything I missed or forgot to mention? I saw somebody doomerism on the timeline talking about like, yeah, make sure you answer your survey. They're trying to get rid of our parking because they asked a lot about parking. Like, are you using the parking?
Yeah, they either Mansueto's paying it and he hates paying it, or whatever. But everybody's gonna want the parking. Like I think the odds of keeping a parking, I'm hoping it's like 90% people want the parking, because I think if you take away the benefit of the parking, you're paying $30, or the discounted price if they do that, $30 or $40 a pop each time you park there.
Damn, that's kind of crazy, because like, like even if I take a car, right, like I get a Uber, usually I Uber there because leaving's a little bit more expensive, but usually I Uber there and it's under $20. It's like $15 most of the time, and then I just bus. That's what, $250, where the bus and train fare. Like that's not much. It ain't no $30 a game. That's kind of brutal, dog.
That actually hurt when they did the first 2 years at a Soldier Field. Up until when they started offering the prick, and that was like a godsend. Like I'm like, oh my god, now I can actually.
Well, Bridgeview was not that much better, wasn't it? $20 for a long time.
No, well, Bridgeview was $20, but I think if you had tickets, 2 seats at least, if you had 2 seats, and you were not sitting at the supporter section, meaning where Section 8 used to be at, you actually got free parking.
Ew, gross. All of you go fuck. Never mind. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's switch gears here because that survey, like, to me, it was a big deal. This has been my first year having tickets. We've talked that to death, but like, it's. I enjoyed it. It was an absolute dog shit team and a horrible season, and I had a blast. I enjoyed every second of it. So talking about a bad team, year-end awards. So the Fire released their year-end awards. Everybody, it's a
bit of a stretch now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's exactly who you would guess, right? So. Yeah. So my thought was, let's do our own awards.
We could compare and contrast.
Well, so we got James's answers, and to be honest, I mean, I agree with him on most, so I don't even think we need to like James thought this. You know what I mean? Like his voice will be heard. So, play of the season. There's only one answer, and the only reason I made this a category was to bring it up. The wind assisted goal from Kellen Acosta, the Chris Brady assist, that was the play of the season. I did cue me freaking out right here. There's no fucking way! Oh my god! And it was.
I think that might be a candidate for goal of the year, isn't it?
Oh, it's got to be, right? I haven't seen
that was a wicked. Like I sat in front of, like, you know where my seats are at.
Oh yeah.
And I saw that ball like in front, like just curved right in front of me. I was already thinking it's gonna be a goal kick. That's it. This is done. We're gonna walk away with a draw. And I just seen that thing curve, and somehow magic happened. Like I thought good things were gonna happen.
It was incredible. It made it impossible to ever leave a game early because it was just like, dang. And it was the early game. It was the only noon game.
12, the noon game.
It was the only noon game we got all year.
I was ready to go. Like it was like the 80th something minute.
Oh yeah.
Fire were down 3-1. I was ready to go, and then my kid is like, my son's like, no, I don't want to go. I want to watch. And I'm like, okay, fine, I don't care. I've seen this show happen all the time. So yeah, and it was worth it actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had another comeback, which I think it was James brought it up, and it was the first one I thought of. Game of the season. And for me, that is definitely, we came back and won 4-3 against I'm blanking on who. Hold on. It was Philly? We came back and won against Philly? Oh. So, do you remember this? We scored 3 goals after the 81st minute.
Mm-hmm.
We were down 3-1 in like the 80-something minute and ended up winning that game 4-3.
Isn't that the Montreal game?
No, I thought it was Philly. We'll have to see.
That was yeah.
It was cue us freaking out right now. Oh my god! Yeah. And then but so for me that that's easy, right? Do you have a different answer?
Yeah. I think that's. It was, you know what, that was the perfect play of the season. It was nice. It was surprising. It was a nice surprise, and it was nice. And magic happened, and we saw magic happening. So there you go.
Okay. We already kind of talked about this. The giveaway of the season. It definitely isn't this jizz rag that they gave us for the 100 years of Soldier Field.
The sweat rag?
For me, the best was the baseball jersey by far.
Yeah, no, it was. You know what? I gotta throw in the bobblehead.
Ooh, the Zach Thornton bobblehead that I have sitting over there. You're right. That's a good. You like the bobbleheads though. You're a bobblehead.
I have all the bobbleheads that the Fire have given away, except for the Sugar Skull, which I don't care much because it's not a player.
It's not a
But
player,
everything
yeah.
before that, like I think all the way since like 2011 when they were giving away Austin Berry bobbleheads. The thing is that I actually got two because my son came with me that day, and little kid, mess around with his. I have mine still in the box, sitting in the garage, which I'm never gonna take down because out of fear that he might do the exact same thing he did.
Did he pop the head off?
No, the head's still there, but it's
Okay.
just not. It's like Zach Thorne's looking backwards throwing the ball. I don't know. So yeah.
Oh God. All right. So I guess I had these as two different categories, but really, well, maybe they are two different categories. The albatross of the year and the biggest disappointment of the year. I think they're different, actually. I think the biggest disappointment was Shaq. Shaq not taking any command of this team and being a part of the future.
Would you say that honorable mention would have been Rafa?
Oh, I guess you're right. You know what? I take that back. Rafa Shihos, disappointment of the season. Did not play up to standard. And Albatross of the year, that's Gaston Jimenez.
Oh my God.
That should be the Gaston Jimenez Memorial Award from here on out.
Yeah, it should be like wooden spoon equivalent right there. Worst player of the team.
Oh,
Gaston Jimenez Memorial Award.
The Gaston Jimenez Memorial wooden
spoon.
I was gonna say, I don't know what I was gonna say. I didn't get to it fast enough. Damn. I didn't have anything good. Anyway, who was the sexiest player? I mean, Kuipers is pretty handsome. But you could go with Kellen Acosta.
Like better style, but well dressed. I mean doesn't Kellen Acosta has his own clothing line?
That or candles or something.
Yeah, candles.
I definitely I'm not going with the bald the bald white guy look. I'm not. That's not winning this award. I know there's seven dudes on the team that look like that, but
Are you referring to our left side?
Yeah, the left side. Yes. Oh man. I guess here we go. You want me to say something good about Gaston Jimenez? He's not.
Go.
He's not terrible on the ice. There we go. So yeah, I guess we'll give that to Kellen Acosta, sexiest player on the team. Congratulations. That's a big one from Enemies of the Fire. That's gonna turn out to be one of those. It's funny. I was clapping and I hit 10,000 steps.
Wow, you broke the system.
Anyway, here's my two favorites before we move on. Most likely to improve next season. So who's on the roster who's currently most likely to improve? James's answer actually shocked me. Jaymes said Hugo Kuipers, which I see what he's talking about, but it'd be hard. In my mind, Kuipers will produce more. Will have better
surrounding cast.
Well, yeah, he'll have more production, but will he really be a better player? You know what I mean? That's the question, right? Hugo.
I think Hugo Kuipers is kind of like he's supposed to be the Nikolic of this team.
Correct.
He's supposed to be the guy that finishes but the thing that made Nikolic so successful was that he had a good supporting cast. Kuipers does not.
Yeah. Well, no, he doesn't, and he still scored 10 goals. And he didn't play the last 4 games of the season because he was a new papa. That's I get the answer, but for me, I don't necessarily think he's going to improve that much as a soccer player. His just stats will improve.
The stats will improve. I don't think he needs to improve. I think he just needs better service. And again, we're not giving him that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Kuipers. I just don't think anybody is helping him out. And we saw that firsthand. He was this man. No, he did more running than Gaston Jimenez did,
Oh yeah,
and he's a striker. He was defending as a striker, so
he was moving. Um,
you know,
is Jonathan Dean somebody that's an answer here? I don't
I,
know. I don't
I,
know.
I,
Is Amari
he's more of
does
a.
Amari Glasgow count? But isn't he like super tiny?
He, I think Amari Glasshouse needs to be kind of slowly integrated into the team. You shouldn't just throw him and expect that he's gonna score like he usually. Like, I don't know if he scored a lot this season, but don't think of him like as a goal machine like from the two team. Uh, but I don't know. Like honestly, I think we're all in agreement that Brian Gutierrez is not gonna get any better.
See, that was going to be my very next question. You don't think
Yeah.
you think it's done? You think he's who we thought he was type of speak?
I always had a feeling that Brian Gutierrez was gonna hit a ceiling, unless who knows? Maybe Greg Berhalter might unlock something that we didn't know he had. But I think a lot of it's you still need you need a number 10 that's gonna help him kind of guide him a little bit. Because I think they want him to be that number 10. They want him to be the playmaker, and it ain't working out he's not working out as a playmaker. So I don't know. It's just I don't.
See, that's Guti's my answer for this. I think he has the possibility to make a jump next season, but I get it's really do or die time for him, man.
Yeah, I think we're kind of getting to a point where, okay, Guti, you've been at it for 2-3 seasons. When's your breakout season?
So the last one, I know Bornstein played well for us, but the way that Bob Bradley held on to Jonathan Bornstein and drove every U.S. fan nuts. Who's most likely to be Berhalter's Bornstein?
Kellen Acosta.
Oh, so he will underperform, and we'll all want him on the bench, and Berhalter will play him even if he's like missing a leg.
I don't think Kellen Acosta is gonna underperform on that. If he stays on this team till he's 35, then that's a whole different situation. I honestly think Kellen Acosta will actually do really good under Greg Berhalter because it'll be a familiar system for him. Not to mention whoever Greg Berhalter brings him, aboard. It might be someone that's played with Cullen before, so that just adds on to the intrigue.
Well, let me use this then as a perfect opportunity to interrupt you, and then also transition because who Greg Berhalter brings aboard, I have somebody on my wish list finally. I have a name.
Have we talked about Mikey Stephens?
No, we have not talked about Mikey Stephens. Welcome back. Mikey Stephens played for the team a little bit after playing better for Portland.
Is it Portland or LA Galaxy?
Both.
yeah, both.
After playing better for both of them, then came over and said what's up and had a cup of coffee. Now he's going to be, what is he? Is he like him and Klopas are assisting with the GM duties? Is that kind of what's going on here?
Yeah, that's what it is. He's like player recruitment. Head of player recruitment. So
we can live.
Mikey Stephens, he's a Chicago guy too. He actually grew up in the suburbs. So it's nice for him to come home. I think having him on board is actually good. And he might have not played his best soccer for us, but he was a pretty cool dude in terms of just interactions. So yeah, it's I'm good with the move. I'm happy with it. Welcome back, Mike Stephens.
Well, welcome back, Mikey Stephens. So, I want Evander. I'm just going to go out and say it. We talked about it earlier.
I'll tell you why that's not...
Portland got destroyed. And yes, did Evander immediately go to the media and flame everyone other than himself? Yes. Yes, he did. Here's
the thing. Here's my thing, though. Will the league let it happen? Because if you're not Miami or you're not LAFC, or even Atlanta, they might not let you do that move.
If Joe Mansueto and Greg Berhalter are, here's the thing, if they're ambitious enough to do it, I don't think Donnie's going to stand in the way no more. I think he stood in the way because he knew Hutman was going to bankrupt this. Yeah, he was going to bankrupt this team. Like, he was going to, like, if you let Hutman spend any money, and that was, that was a stretch to begin with, he was going to do it stupid. But seriously, man, I want Evander so bad. It took for the best player in the world, and probably ever, and his buddy to stop Evander from winning an MVP. Evander is like the guy right after Suarez, Messi, and Cucho in the conversation for MVP. Like,
well, what about? Well, since we already have Kuipers, I mean, you're really gonna have, unless you're playing two strikers.
Evander's not a striker. Evander's in the midfield. So he's your Guti. He's your Guti replacement, or you shove Guti out wide.
And Guti's not good out wide.
He's better than Chris Mueller. God, I do that every time.
So here's the thing. So fine, let's say we had Evander.
Yes.
You still need wingers though. I mean, are you done with Haile Selassie?
I'm not done with Haile Selassie, but I'm ready to upgrade and have him on the bench.
Yeah, that's kind of my same feelings also, that we need a better distributor of the ball on the wings.
We talked about this. We have 3 positions that we have to sign, not MLS starting quality, but MLS all-star quality. And that's center back, winger, and central midfield.
Yep.
And if we make those signings, we can live with one good winger and one Malin Haile Selassie, with Mueller taking up a few minutes here or there when somebody's hurt.
And a solid rock on the center back.
Yep, we need a rock in the center. Then not Aaron Long, although Aaron Long having a good year apparently. Apparently putting the feet, what's the old saying? Put your foot in your mouth. But I don't know, man. I just know this. I want Evander. I want it. I want it so bad. I can taste it. I want someone that toxic.
So maybe, I mean, it kind of makes you wonder how many players are now interested to come to Chicago now that Greg Berhalter took over. I think it makes it easier for us to recruit players now that Greg Berhalter took over.
And like that dude is burning every bridge out of Portland. Don't send him don't send him to Argentina. Don't send him to England. Just let us have him. Let's shuffle some things around. Like,
you know what? It's Portland is a dumpster fire. I mean, come on, you got Phil Neville running the team. I mean, that by itself would have spelled disaster. Like,
I'm really excited about Portland in their Phil Neville era, like their era of discontent,
mediocrity. It's like it's just weird because I thought Portland was a smarter team, or whoever's running it made smarter choices. And
the person who was running it got into a lot of trouble. Then
so it's a dysfunctional team then. So I think, you know what, you're right, Phil Neville's in the right spot. Never mind.
Yeah, no, couldn't happen to a better person. Anyway,
yeah, just
sorry, my what do they call it? Schroeden feud? God, what do they call that stuff?
I don't know, man.
Oh man. Oh!
I don't think you're gonna get Evander because Portland's gonna hang on to him until they sell him to like a European club.
No, I want him. I want Evander.
It ain't gonna happen, bro.
Any one of you fancy pants who get to go hang out with Greg Berhalter, which I don't get to apparently.
Apparently, we're not in the cool club, bro. Like I think me and you got the same email.
It's fine.
Either you can meet him. You can meet him at a bar in Naperville, or you can meet him somewhere in downtown.
The downtown one's at the office. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to. Oh, I was planning on going to that one. I think. I don't know. I'm going to the. Oh, by the way, big shout out. You'll be seeing the two of us, DPG and FC Neo Tokyo, at the locker room sale. I will be there.
Yes. I'm gonna get up right and by the way, get there early because honestly,
I'm getting there early, baby.
Because I think the last time I went to one, it was like was it a Friday? I don't remember. It was like 2 years ago, and it was in the middle of the week. I wasn't like I've been to these before, and when I got there was already like 10 people waiting, and I still had like 30 minutes before they started.
I'll be there early, man. I'll be there early.
I'm gonna wake up early, make that long drive to Toyota Park with the kid, by the way, because he wants to go.
But do you know on Saturday? Do you know Saturday morning? Oh my God! Did I tell you how quickly I got home from? Dude, did I tell you how quickly I got home from that Fire game that was at Toyota Park that me and Jaymes went to? Literally,
how quickly?
It was literally like 31 minutes or like 29 minutes, something like that, which is absolutely unheard of. Usually it takes me 21 minutes from once I get onto 90 going west
it takes me
to hit Armitage.
The last game I went to, obviously the last game of the season, took me forever to get home. I don't know what's going on. There's so many people in downtown Chicago. It's like, I don't know if the city was having events.
Oh, there was a big ass event down State Street. So I didn't know that. So me and her actually got screwed because we didn't get off the bus in time. So we got off later and had to walk a long way to hit where we need to be.
What? Yeah, you're right. That's what it was, because one of the roads was closed and everybody was.
It was a big ass party, some Halloween thing, I think, or something. I don't know.
I don't know. It's I don't know, the city wasting time. But anyways, it took me forever to get home, and that's another thing too. I hope they fix the infrastructure. I hope Joe Mansueto, when he decides to build that stadium, make it easier.
Put it in Lincoln Yards. Put it in Lincoln Yards, please.
Yes, put it in Lincoln Yards, because there's nothing in that area that's going to cause traffic. It's just an empty giant lot right now.
Right. Well, I mean, Cortland sucks ass. It's always, backed up to, but whatever. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Yeah, literally, you could put an exit from the highway to like the parking deck if you really wanted.
Yeah. I think what Lincoln Yards is like sealed off. Like it is huge lot that's sealed off from like the rest of Chicago, and it's huge. Like that's like the perfect spot for Joe Mansueto to build a soccer stadium.
I want it so bad. I could walk to games
and a parking garage right next to it.
Yeah, less important to me.
I know for you it's not, but if I don't get parking, you better give me one of your parking passes in your neighborhood so I can park my car.
My neighborhood doesn't have parking permits. You're good. You just park along Avondale. You're good. But so we're running out of steam here. We given out all the awards I think we want to give out.
Yeah.
We've talked about what's important to us. I'm begging for Evander to come to this team.
You know what? That will be actually, if Evander shows up in Chicago, that I think will be a game changer.
That'll be a big flop it on the table kind of move.
That's like Kellen to Evander to Kuiper scores. That's, I mean, get a better winger, get a better.
Evander talks shit about Mikey Stephens. Anyway.
Oh, he did?
No. Never. I'm just saying in your scenario.
Oh.
So who do you think? Okay, free Dirk. We. Okay. I'll say this about that kid. That's a joke, by the way. But I'll say this about that kid. He's a moron. He had an entire stadium of people to perform to, and he spent the entire time basically like rapping to the camera. And it's like, how, like, of course he hired an FBI agent to kill somebody. Anyway, I digress. Expansion draft. Are we afraid? Or are we afraid? Are we gonna wait to make moves for the expansion draft?
That's some no. I mean, if anybody wants our garbage, they can have it.
Good call. Good call.
And on top of that, that's the Western Conference problem. Let the LAFC, the FCs of the world worry about that. That's not our.
All right. No.
That's
I
not our
feel
no.
you.
I mean, it will piss me off if they say, "Oh yeah, San Diego's gonna face the Fire as the first ever game." Like, yeah,
Oh, it's
use
always
us.
us. It's always us. We open your stadium or we start your season. Yeah.
And you know what? I'm waiting for the Fire to beat one of this team for that way we don't have to be that. We don't have to be that team anymore. Ruin
Well,
somebody's inaugural game.
Right? It would be great. It would be finally great. It would be great just to win some games. I forgot what that was like. I forgot being excited about players.
I forgot what's it like to be on a winning streak.
Yeah, exactly. All right, one last thing I got for you, man. One last conversation before we get out of here, because this has been a fun one. Who do we use our buyout on?
So
Gaston or Fetty?
It's easy. It'll probably be easier to sell Fetty. So I think Fetty will be the easier one to sell out of the two.
Also, Fetty's the one that could possibly not flop and just all of a sudden out of nowhere play well. Gaston will never play well.
No. So I think we're probably gonna be forced to use it on Gaston.
I can't wait. That Gaston Jimenez will go down the record books as the man who triggered the most roster rules in history. He just money laundering the person.
Money laundering, not to mention, I guess our owner was trying to be slick and send all the players they don't want to a Swiss club.
And then they just start winning games. I'm convinced the Swiss League is garbage. I'm convinced the Swiss League is garbage off of that.
Yeah. I mean, isn't our owner planning on buying another club? Wasn't he in the talks or something?
I heard something about that. If he starts his own city group type of thing, I'm not excited about it, but it is what it is. I don't know, man. I just want that'd
be kind of cool. I mean, global recognition,
It'd be good. I would love.
It'd be good for recruiting.
I would love nothing more than to wake up and in the last 10 years the Fire won 4 MLS Cups and 2 US Open Cups and a CONCACAF Champions League.
Oh, dude,
you know what I mean?
That would be the day, man.
That'd be. I used to dream about times like this.
Yeah, we will be having a different conversation. We'll be like, man, remember that time I almost quit my season tickets?
Oh yeah, I do feel like I feel like I hung on just long enough and invested got in at the ground floor. Man, that stock dropped all the way to 0 and I got in. But I don't know. It's been fun. Like I said, it's been a blast. Okay.
Yeah.
I lied. I got one more thing for you.
What's up?
Who on the Fire deserves their own shitty Dwayne Wade style statue?
Well, I mean, I've said Frank Klopas. I mean,
you're right, Klopas. You're right. That's actually the answer. Is Klopas.
I think Frank Klopas is the only one right now that's probably the one guy that deserves it, just because they've made this man go from a player to
executive,
helper, technical director, assistant coach, head coach, assistant coach, head coach,
assistant to the regional manager.
Assistant to the regional manager, not an assistant manager, assistant to the regional manager.
Exactly.
Stadium greeter, ambassador. They have given Klopas every single title the Fire have ever come up to. I have yet to wait for the one day that he's going to be my season ticket holder rep.
Oh, that was he needs to He needs more cushier and less important jobs. I don't need him working a phone bank, dog. I need him just chilling, maybe serving drinks. There you go. Frank Klopas serving drinks.
You know what, man? Honestly, I think if it's nice that the club has like hang on to Frank, not just kick him to the curb and say, okay, you're done as a head coach. I
There
think it's
is something
nice.
to that. There is something to that.
I really appreciate the fact that I guess the club is showing, loyalty, or at least trying to reward loyalty. But it just, you know what, hey, you know what? I'll give a clap to Frank Lopez because you know what, he was put in an impossible situation. He tried to make the best out of it.
I mean, did he? I don't know, man. By the time he was coaching the third time, I'm losing some sympathy. That's why I desperately need him.
That's why this was. Yeah, I think this was the year. Like I feel you. I get what you're saying, and I think if they would have kept him on until next year, I would have been pissed. I would have been
oh my god, I would have been livid. I would have been inconsolable.
I would have been pissed. Right. But I think as long as you keep Frank from the team, as long as he doesn't touch this team or he makes any roster decisions, as long as you don't let that man do any roster decisions or any tactical stuff or anything like that, then we're good. Frank can stick around with the Fire by all means. Give the man his statue. Give him a statue.
Does Blanco deserve a statue?
No.
No? So
I don't think he was I think he was an impact, but not like an impact player. Like he wasn't like he carried his team all the way to the MLS Cup Finals.
So then, who's the best player to ever play for our team? Like now, not the best ever, like in their career. Who was in a Chicago shirt the best player to play for Chicago?
Well, obviously, this business is about goals, and goals decide games. And you have to go with the guy that scored the most goals, Ante Razov.
Oh, see, I thought you were about to say, like, in a season, go Nemanja Nikolic. I was about to scream.
No. I'm going to say it's going to be Ante Razov. And, kind of testament to that is I literally have a whole, frame, well, not a frame, but it's a giant picture of the Fire winning the U.S. Open Cup trophy. And guess who's right next to it? Ante Razov. So
Ante Razov. Okay, so I mean, do you think that's the popular opinion? Do you think people say Blanco, or do you think Razov's the opinion, or what?
People will say Blanco. It depends who you ask. Blanco to me was all about the hype. I mean, he did okay. He did decent. But if you were to tell me, would you prefer Blanco or Nemanja Nikolic? I'm going to tell you Nikolic anytime. I'll tell you Nikolic all day, every day. Because Nikolic contributed a lot more than Blanco did on the season. Hell, you can even, Mike McGee contributed more than Blanco in one season.
I mean, you're not wrong. Well, then, who's that's it. That's it, man. I like your answer.
I mean, if you got any other, go by all means. What else you got on your mind?
Dude, this is already a gigantically bloated podcast. I think we leave it at that. I think you covered it all. I think Razov and Klopas. I can't complain with any of that. And speaking about complaining, I don't know how much. I just please everybody, like, if you made it this far, before you like and subscribe, and before you comment, and before you flame us and all this other stuff, please, God, vote and keep us from having fascism. Sorry. God damn it. I had to say that somewhere on the internet. I'm going to, for all of you concerned, on Election Day, I'm literally going to be streaming on my FC Neo Tokyo channel, doing nothing but playing video games. There will be not a single talk of politics, and I will not be looking at the news, and I will not know who won until the next morning, because I cannot. I literally cannot. So unless the Gestapo, Gestapo knocks on my door, I'm not going to know who won until the next morning.
Yeah, they're going to be like, are you FC Neo Tokyo? Did you say this on the internet? We got to take it to we gotta take it to a re-education camp.
Usually I'm like, hashtag fuck the kids. Please, God, somebody educate these kids. They're coming out way uptight and fucking conservative. Just stop it. Anyway, TPG, tell the people goodbye for me. All right,
guys, good night. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's kind of right now we're kind of in a dull situation because obviously the Fire not in the playoffs. So again, just give us a subscribe. Hopefully there'll be some more exciting news for the Fire and anything, all sorts of MLS stuff. And that's all I got.
And there's always MLS stuff.
There's always
I love MLS stuff. Anyway.
And the NCAA is getting revamped, so that's another.
We were going to talk about that. There was a billion for what was a quiet week of soccer. I had a billion things for us to talk about. We still didn't hit them all. Anyway, we've kept you long enough. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, guys. Thank you. And if thank you for the support.